All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win today. A big time win in the first game of the season. What are some thoughts after today's win?
Um, well, I think our players, all 11 new players that we have, and 5 freshmen, were really excited to play. I can tell you that they were looking forward to a game and being done with practice for a while. So I wasn't sure how that would translate. Really this year, everything we do is new. Just because we just don't have anybody in the program other than Paula and Soul's out with an injury to really model any kind of behaviors. So, like putting in a scouting report, had no idea how they'd respond to that. They came out, I thought, we executed our defensive plan really well, and then executed some adjustments to it well. When number 22 and number 1 started to make some baskets, I thought we adjusted defensively to kind of what they were able to do, which is a good sign. It's a good start for us. I think we have some really nice pieces. They're just really young, a lot of them, or very inexperienced. I think this first couple of months is about growth. Growth as practice habits go, and then now this next month or so, growth in terms of just getting some experience in real game situations.
You mentioned the defensive effort. You held UNC Greensboro to 3 points in the second and 2 points in the fourth. How much of an emphasis in the huddle at timeouts or whatever before the game was the defensive side of the ball?
Well, we had an opportunity that they've been on the road for several days, so I think the fatigue probably has something to do with some of their shooting, and we were able to have a scout from watching Stanford game, which helped us in order to prepare a little bit. But our goal was to keep them out of the paint and really protect around the rim, make them shoot contested shots. So, I think we were able to do that fairly effectively. We did foul too much. We had 2 kids foul out. And that's been a point of emphasis, in the 2 scrimmages, and now this game we've had multiple players foul out. We've talked about fouling. It's something we need to clean up, and it'll continue to be something we emphasize.
Candy hit a career high in points, 26 tonight to lead the team. What did you see in her tonight, and obviously in the recruiting process, bringing her here, from Seattle U?
Candy's awesome. I mean, she's probably the most athletic player that I've ever coached at her position. And she's got 3 years left. We were able to. She put in a lot of time when she got here after her national team experience, working on her shot. But I think just her athleticism, her competitive drive. She's an ultra competitive person and player. Her attacking the rim, which she's already good at. If we can add a shot to that, I mean, for her, really, the sky's the limit. I'm really excited to have her in the program. I'm really excited about a lot of these kids. Actually, you know, it, we just have players that just need experience. They are very talented. It'll take us a while to put that together and to kind of draw that out and get them confident in their abilities and how to play at this level. But I really like this team.
And then Megan, obviously, she has a ton of years under her belt,
Mhm.
a near triple double tonight. How does probably the smallest player on the court get 10 rebounds?
Uh, we really loved Megan because she's a winner. She came from a highly successful Southern Oregon NAIA program. And she knows how to win. She's used to winning. She's been well coached. She is very intelligent, very savvy out on the floor. And I think we saw that in the second half. We've seen kind of glimpses of that. I think she needed to, it wasn't like she didn't have confidence at the beginning of the year. I think she just wasn't sure about the transition from NAI to Division One. But you could see right away in practice, like she knows how to play basketball. She is smaller, but she knows, she's played at that height for her whole career. She knows how to be very effective at the size she is. She knows how to lead a team on the floor. And I thought, her veteran experience in the second half and Candy's experience really helped us. And I would say Nevaeh as well. She came in, made some really good, got some really good rebounds and defensive plays.
And then obviously you mentioned this team is relatively young. Noelia seemed very active early on.
Hmm.
4 for 4 from the field. She got into a little bit of foul trouble toward the end, but just overall, what do you see out of her? And then obviously Ina and the other freshmen here.
Yeah, Noelia has a huge upside. A really intelligent player, comes from a very good basketball background in Spain. She will just continue to improve. She's very coachable. She just needs experience. Same thing with Ina. Just needs to get more experience, log some more minutes, get used to kind of slowing the game down a little bit, and then the other one, Natasha. I think for her, as soon as she kind of figures out how to put all those things together too. Those are three really, really good freshmen that we have. And then, Michelle as a transfer is learning what our expectations are in terms of practice habits. And, but it's a good group. And, I'm looking forward to continuing to have these guys develop over the course of the season.
And I feel like there's an emphasis of getting the ball in the paint. You want some layups and whatnot. The 3-point shot wasn't necessarily falling tonight. Is that a concern moving forward, or is that just kind of like a one game kind of thing?
No, it's shooting is always a concern. Where the points are going to come from. We're still trying to sort out what's the best way to attack with the offense with the group that we have. More freedom, less freedom, more structure, less structure. We have kids. We scored many points in the paint, but they weren't necessarily off of post ups. They were more driving attacks and our perimeter kids dumping off to some of our post players. So, I think we need to score in transition. I think we need to score with more ball movement and player movement. I thought we got a little stagnant and started to dribble quite a lot in the second half. Something we need to clean up. But always for me, I love to have a post that can score around the rim. We love to have ability to dump it inside and get easy baskets if we can.
And then your guys on the road on this the Sunday at Boise State. What are the expectations heading to that game, knowing that you guys played them last year at Chase Center and you kind of seen them before and whatnot. But what are your expectations heading to that game?
It'll be an up tempo game. They'll space the floor very well. They'll shoot a lot of perimeter shots. It'll be the first time we play on the road. We had a scrimmage on the road, but first time we're in a plane, the first time we're overnight somewhere. So, again, everything will be new. It'll be interesting to see, how this team responds to that, because it's a quality competition in a big arena on the road on a Sunday. So, I am just as curious as everyone else how we're going to show up for that.
Perfect. Thank you, Molly.
All right. Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.